It's a good beat. It's just a good beat, dude.
It's fantastic, sir. You did a great job with this one.
Albums still matter. Like books and Black Lives, albums still matter. Tonight,
welcome to the Link Up Listening Party with Jordan and Auggie 5000.
Hey! All right, welcome to the Link Up Listening Party. It's the podcast where we connect two seemingly different albums by the threads and themes that bring them together. I am Jordan. That's Auggie. Today we'll be joined by Nur-D.
I'm excited,
a little later
man.
in the podcast.
Nur-D's just a good, lovable man. Talent aside, the guy's just a great guy to be around.
He's very smart. I love talking to him and picking his brain about pop culture and music. If you don't know who Nur-D is, we're a very Minnesota-centric podcast right now. But I see the stats. I see the international and national love. If you don't know who Nur-D is, he's a rapper from Minnesota, and he is so dope and so effervescent and so... Did I say dope already?
You said dope. Dope, effervescent, talented. Right. He can sing. He's James Brown-esque in the way that he leads his band. You know what I mean? I don't know. He's not doing the cape thing, but
hilarious. And that's a great point. He's also hilarious and thoughtful on social media at Nur-D Rocks. He is someone that should be on your radar as you search for new music. You listen to the Link Up Listening Party, which means you love all genres of music, which means you love Nur-D because he also loves all genres of music.
100%. You know what? We have to say this. He's an activist, extremely big activist energy.
Of course,
dedicated his life over the past year to just making sure that injured people that were out on the street protesting got some care while they were out in the field.
Heart of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Heart of gold. So at Nur-D Rocks, follow him. He'll be on later in the show. Today, we're getting fetal with our albums. Getting fetal with it. I picked Nirvana's in Utero.
And I picked DaBaby's Baby on Baby. You can see the connotations here. Just the thought of this one in our text thread made me laugh when I was like, I didn't know if you were going to go for this one because it was just too funny. I'm glad you did, though.
It was ridiculous. I do appreciate it. Plus, I think it's really cool to bring in. We've been doing a lot of we did Noriega and Bruce last week and Lady Gaga and Tyler. It's nice to get a recent album in the cut like Baby on Baby, especially with, we're coming off of his meteoric ascent to fame in 2019 and 2020. So it's interesting to see what we'll think of this album, not really in hindsight. A lot of our discussions have been around albums where we had time to kind of have more mature thoughts on them, but this is still very new. So I wonder how it'll impact the discussion.
Yeah, this one's a baby, as they would say.
Okay. Calm down, Auggie.
So it's only like 2 years old.
Is it 2? I thought it's 2020, wasn't it? Or was it 2019?
2019. Yeah. See how 2020 just disappeared from our memory because we were stuck inside?
Sheesh.
See that? Wow.
Man, I can't believe it's already been a year since we've been locked inside, dude. I remember March 12th. I remember being in the studio like the day after a Glass Animals concert and being like, I don't think I'm coming back to the studio anytime soon. And we haven't. We lost that studio. It's gone. Rest in peace.
Oh, my God. All right, we're gonna charge forward. While we're here, before we get to the super content, I want to give a shout out to 2303 Bushik in the chat. He's on infant mode just like us.
What's up?
Let's go.
Oh,
her. Excuse me. That's Christina Bush.
Oh, her.
Yeah, you know her. She shows her butt on Instagram.
Oh, Christina Bush, the homie. Here's the bit. Never mind. I was gonna bring in like a whole pronoun conversation because I want to see, how people are putting like their pronouns in the email signatures and like in Twitter bios and stuff. I feel like that's, if you want to disclose that should be regularly accessible info, just so people like us don't like fuck up and see like him, her. Like,
oh yeah, true.
And misgender.
I should have just said they to be clear because there was nothing to give me there was no cues for gender or whatever for identity. So yeah. But that's a whole different discussion. A whole different vibe.
I'd be rocking with singular J I rock with the final thing on it. I rock with singular they.
I like that.
Powerhouse of a word. Powerhouse pronoun.
At first I didn't like it and I've warmed up to it. Like it was weird just because you think of like more than one with they. But there's really nothing better than that. So I appreciate it. Also, I have to say that Vince Staples' comments on it on Twitter were pretty funny. He's like addressing me as my pronouns ka and cuz.
those jokes can be kind of problematic sometimes, but I know Vince's intentions are good. Therefore, I'm gonna let it slide. We had the conversation about intent between Lil Nas X and Tyler on Twitter, and how when Lil Nas X trolls, we think it's funny, but when Tyler did, we're like, oh, he's problematic. I think Vince Staples has built up enough goodwill where when he makes that joke, I go, okay, that's in good faith.
Well, see,
so I'll laugh at it.
He kind of like he balanced it by saying, hey, we're going to talk about gender identity today on the timeline. I want y'all to respect people's pronouns. And he's like, here's mine. I'll go first.
That's great. Vince is the man. All right. Shall we synopsize real quick these two albums?
Yes, sir.
These fetal albums.
Let's give it to him. Yours is older so let's go with yours first.
All right, cool. So In Utero is the third and final album from Nirvana, released on September 13th, 1993. The album was rapidly recorded within a 2-week period under the supervision of the legendary Steve Albini. We'll get more on Steve later on in 5 Fun Facts. Kurt wanted to showcase both extremes of the Nirvana sound on this album. He wanted some songs to be raw and other songs to be quote unquote candy pop. Kurt, love ya, miss ya. There's nothing candy pop on this album.
No, not at all.
I'm sorry. It's grunge.
I think that he kind of like was listening to his fans a little bit too much, because people were like, oh, you guys sold out on the second album on Nevermind. And we're like, this is too produced and this is blah, blah, blah. And these are candy songs. And so for him, he's like, all right, we got to take it to the gutter here, guys. And I think he was thinking like Apologize was just too, all apologies or whatever was just a little bit too mainstream for people. Probably. I don't know.
I was about to say, Apologize is a One Republic song. That is candy pop. Still a great song, though. The album did end up going 5 times platinum. So that's nice. There's a lot to talk about with this album. So I just want to give you there's the bare facts. It has the singles on it are Heart-Shaped Box, All Apologies, and Penny Royalty. Spicy review time. Are we ready, Augie?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Through this synopsis here. All right. So this is from Plugged In's Bob Wilazowski, Mike Wazowski's cousin. He said that In Utero is noxious noise with no redeeming value, which is just mean with no context. He just thought it was noise. Kind of like big uncle energy. Like, that's not music.
Shout out to my uncle that has said that numerous times.
So that's kind of mean. I want to move on to a more thoughtful one from Ben Thompson of The Independent. He had some spice about the direction and lore around the album, but ultimately good things to say about it. I want to hear your thoughts on Ben's thoughts.
Okay.
He said that In Utero is beautiful far more often than it is ugly, and that Nirvana has wisely neglected to make the unlistenable punk rock nightmare that they threatened us with.
Wow.
Which is a hilarious take.
I love that. That was like the polar opposite of what the other guy did, because you could tell one guy actually listened to and absorbed the album, and the other guy maybe like gave it one like background listen and was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah. Which, if you do have Nirvana in the background, it is noise. You have to pay attention. You have to be in that mood. You got to be working out. You have to be angry. You have to be feeling a type of way to fully absorb the Nirvana experience. But big ups to Ben Thompson for lovingly roasting the lore around the album and not the album itself. And like you said, engaging with the work. I think what we've seen while investigating the reviews of these albums is that a lot of these reviewers don't know what they're talking about. They're not diving into the work. They're giving it passive listens. They're searching for hot takes. They're not engaging with it. So big ups to Ben for proving to us that he engaged with it in like 2 sentences.
Yeah. And I have to say
journalism,
this,
baby.
In the previous man, the first man that you said who gave the stupid review, what was his name?
Bob Wilazowski, Mike Wazowski's cousin.
Bob Wilazowski. So in his defense, I'll say this, and if there's anything to defend there, I'll tell you that in my entire lifetime of hearing Nirvana, listening to Nirvana and enjoying Nirvana, I can almost never understand what the hell Kurt Cobain is talking about in a song. I have to look up the lyrics.
Is it his tone or the actual lyrics?
It's his tone. It's his tone. I can't hear them. And in this album specifically, there's a lot of songs where you can kind of tell that Steve Albini's recording style was recording all the instruments at once in one room. And what he did was to separate the vocals from the rest of the instruments was he put them super high up in the mix. So basically Kurt Cobain's floating on top of stuff. And it's really, really hard for me to pick out lyrics in this situation. And hard enough as it is for me to just pick out lyrics for hearing a man scream. And that's, I just can't do it. It's just, I enjoy the music, but I'm more just like vibing to it. And then when I really sit down and read the lyrics, I'm like, whoa, he was really saying something here. Like, cheers to Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt had bars, and we'll get into a little bit more about his artistic vision. And there's a song on the album that, one, requires a trigger warning, and two, is a whole take on sexual abuse. And it's just a song that I think we have to. I want Nur-D in on this long form conversation and
definitely
to analyze. Where's Kurt's heart at, and can we give him credit? Because he's pushing the line, but also you can tell like the intent is there. And I think it's a very interesting artistic discussion. As far as understanding his lyrics, how is Nirvana screaming any different than mumble rap? How can people hate on mumble rap and then go and listen to Nirvana? I find it very hypocritical. If you're a Nirvana fan, I think you rock with mumble rap. Sorry, it's just the way it is.
I like that take. Also, I'll say this though: the discerning thing for me with mumble rap and with Nirvana specifically, and other like scream bands where the vocalist screams, is that it's how it's mixed down, right? Like with mumble rap, the vocals and everything around it is super compressed, so you're able to really pick out stuff, and you can really put your ear to it and hear it. But when the way that Nirvana music is mixed and grunge music in general, and and metal, that stuff is like right there. It's right there with the guitars, and it's hard for, I don't know, my ear is just not discerning enough to pick out the vocals.
I feel it. You know what's interesting about mumble rappers? Who do you think is when you hear the term mumble rap, what rapper pops up in your head?
Lil Baby.
Okay, mine is Lil Uzi Vert. I don't have a response for Lil Baby, but for Lil Uzi Vert, he's a guy inspired by alternative and rock. So these worlds in delivery, the way they influence each other. Back when we had bands and rappers come through the studio, the rappers would say, "Oh, I love this band." The bands would say, "Oh, I love this rapper." So I guess my whole point here, and I guess the direction of this discussion, I might be forcing this discussion, but it's like, man, these artists have mad respect for each other and they love each other's music. And Kurt was a big hip hop guy. He thought it was the most interesting, newest, rawest art form. So I always get mad when rock people hate on hip hop as if it isn't music, as if the people that they're listening to don't like love hip hop. It pisses me off. Like, no, it's all love. It's all art. It's all expression. And they're very parallel to each other.
These are the Bruce Springsteen fans from the 1970s. So we're going to ignore them. It's the boomers. It's the boomers and the early Gen Xers.
I don't rock with them. All right, Auggie, thus concludes my synopsis of In Utero. Bring us on board with Baby on Baby.
All right. So to understand the Baby on Baby and the baby, you have to put yourself in this world, and it's easy to, because we were all around. We remember quickly March 1st, 2019. The baby around this time was involved in a murder investigation because he shot and killed a man in a Walmart. It was ruled that this was self-defense, and there was no like serious charges against him except for like having a concealed weapon. But what's super interesting about this is that this is the first instance of a rapper shooting somebody like when an album's coming out, and it drawing that mystique rather than a rapper getting shot when an album's coming out and drawing mystique.
So the gun was pointed at someone else this time, I see.
Yeah, I'll say, like, he was in self-defense. The man was threatening him in a Walmart, and his daughter was there, and his baby's mother was there, and his nephew was there. And so he was completely justified, and a lot of us would have done the same thing. Now, but it just boggles my mind. It doesn't boggle my mind, but it's really interesting to think about. Tupac years ago got shot in the leg in a studio in New York, and that added mystique. And, people were like, wow, Tupac's a real one. And then 50 Cent got shot 9 times before his debut came out. And, it was like, wow, 50 Cent's real. He's from the streets. But the baby actually shot and killed a dude. And I mean, when you talk about rappers keeping it real, and he's talking about guns and stuff and being a tough guy in this song, he was absolutely keeping it real. And cheers to the baby for, giving us that real.
Man, I was so immersed in my alternative life at that point that I totally forgot that happened. I was like hearing this for the first time with fresh ears right now on the podcast. I was like, this is a deep memory. I can't, geez.
Dude, and DaBaby.
DaBaby.
So DaBaby's also certified tough guy because like a couple of months after the album came out, you might remember this one. He was Instagrammed inside of like a Louis Vuitton store, and there was another local Charlotte rapper trying to start stuff with him. He beat that dude up.
That nigga DaBaby in here talking some shit. He walking up on me and shit like he about to do something.
Scared of what? Come buy your shit. Scared of what? Cam Cold Heart. Scared of buy your shit. The fucking Cold Heart. Scared of what? Play. Huh, Cam Cold Heart. Huh, Cam Cold Heart. I'm the truth, nigga. Knock them out. Me. Dolo. I'm the truth. Quit playing with me, boy. Quit playing with me, boy. Pick your pants up, nigga.
And took his and not J. Cole. It was not J. Cole. He beat the dude up and posted the dude on his Instagram all beat up on the floor.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. DaBaby's shredded as well. I would not want to get in a fight with him. You know, like when dudes got like this muscle and it's super buff, DaBaby's got that. That's how you know you don't tussle with him. He works out.
Dude,
don't instigate.
He's got like big like I'm famous rapper energy, but also he's got like big like charismatic boxer energy. I see a lot of Golden Boy,
great.
Oscar De La Hoya in him. You know what I'm saying? I see Floyd Mayweather Jr. in him. I just see that he's got that charisma. He's got that boxer swag. So he's like a heavyweight or middleweight champ boxer walking around rapping, and you gotta love DaBaby for that.
I gotta love DaBaby for picking 808s in his songs that sound like, you know, jab, jab, hook. Bow, 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 bow. Come on. The beats and the boxing, it's harmonious.
It is, man. I don't know if he boxes or not, but I think he's there. Also, this was the album Baby on Baby that introduced us to the producers Jetson Made, who are great. I love their 808 sound. A lot of people complain about, you know, that 808 being monotonous and overused and whatnot, but I happen to really love the sound. So shout out to Jetson Made.
Those songs, at least for me while DJing, because the 808 clips and is so distorted and present in the mix, they are impossible to like mix in like properly. I have to do like a lot of adjustment, like trim it down, make sure like the volume comes down. They're impossible to mix for me. I have a hard time with Rockstar. It's game over. It's so hard.
Jetson Made does not issue his apologies to you, sir. So I'm sorry for
he should, because it gets the dance floor going and I appreciate it. Thank you, Jetson Made. Go on.
Album features verses from Offset, Rich the Kid, not to be confused with oh my God, Rich. Oh my God, why am I? His name's blanking me. But forget. I
Rich
said
Homie
that.
Quan.
Well, Rich Homie Quan's on this one too, but not. Who's the most famous Rich right now? He has the song.
Roddy Ricch.
Roddy Ricch.
Isn't Roddy Ricch on this album?
No, Roddy Ricch is not on this album. But I was saying Rich the Kid, not to be confused with Roddy Ricch, and his name just fell out of my brain. But yeah, he got Rich Homie Quan back for this one. I was wondering what happened to Rich Homie Quan in this era. Brought him back. Stunner for Vegas was on this one as well. All great features on this album.
Yeah, it's a strong one. Again, you know, I was hating on the Posse Cut last album. I think DaBaby picks his features properly, and they're spaced out real nice. It's they all the features add something. They're not there just to rap. They're there to contribute, and I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And this album went gold. Might go platinum at some point. Who knows? Peaked at number 7 on the Billboard 200. So cheers to DaBaby. Not quite as successful as our friends Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl and them with Nirvana, but he sold units.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's tough to compare album sales, anything like post 2012, 2011, just because of the dawn of streaming and how streaming numbers calculate towards certification. And it's just a different ball game. So even going gold off of what, there was 2 singles on this that moved, that's pretty impressive. So big ups to DaBaby.
Yeah, he did his thing, man. He did his thing.
What similarities do you see between these 2 albums? Just off the rip, no link up fodder, maybe more thematic things. I got one.
Well, I was really, I
want to get your thoughts on it.
I was really thinking about this, and because I was like, these are probably the most contrasting albums that we've reviewed yet. Like, there's not a lot of similarities in here. Like, musically, they're completely different. One's like compressed and overproduced, and the other one's like really raw. And then subject matter, you know, Kurt Cobain is diving into, you know, into a lot of different things. Nothing that DaBaby's diving into. DaBaby's really surface level, braggadocious. I got money. I'll shoot you in the face. You know, I also get women and I will shoot them in the face as well. I don't get a lot of this.
And then I'll punch you in the face.
Yes. So yeah, but no, what did
I will
you
punch
find?
you. I will shoot you.
What did you find?
I was thinking about the instrumentation. So Nirvana, we got drums, we got guitar, we got bass. It's gritty. It's also pretty minimal. We're talking about 3 or 4 instruments tops. Baby on Baby production, similar thing. You usually have a synth doing the melody or a piano and then drums. That's it. So I think they're both very sparse production wise, even though, that 808 is distorted and big. The guitars are distorted and big in Utero, which I found to be an interesting comparison. And also, we had DaBaby's braggadocious, embracing the fame that he had as a result of Kirk and Vibes and Bop and all that. And then there's some aspects of, around this album, Kurt was interrogating the price of his fame and he hated it. So we have one guy embracing fame and the other just completely tearing it down. I think that really speaks to the feelings of both these albums. In Utero is ostensibly a sad album. Baby on Baby is an album you listen to while partying and like enjoying yourself, and it makes you feel good, which that is the nature of hip hop. It makes you feel good and confident. But I think it's a stark difference, but it's, again, two sides of the same coin. They're interrogating fame in different ways. And I think both are valid, celebrating your fame and also being sick of it. It's very invasive. So they're at a crossroads, but the themes are being investigated all the same. And I rock with it.
I like that. You really put the work in to draw these comparisons. Cause cheers to you and your brain, man. I mean, you talk about brain damage. No, sir. You are sharp as ever.
Thank you, Auggie. I wish we went a little bit faster than we usually do. So I want to get Nur-D's thoughts on five. I want to bring in Nur-D for 5 fun facts. If he's watching, he can join the Zoom now if he wants.
Okay. In the meantime, Jordan, I wanted to ask you this on the top of the pod as we're recording this live on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yesterday was your birthday.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
What'd you do for your birthday, man?
Let's see. Well, I did my radio show. I cleaned up around the house, which is something I wanted to do. My grandparents brought over some lemon cake. They just dropped it up on the doorstep though, because we're having a COVID contact crisis right now. So we're on super quarantine. So we're doing like DoorDash delivery. Put it on the thing. Don't get close to us. Put it on the entryway. Allie's parents, my wife's parents, brought over some Emily's Lebanese Diner to, celebrate, get some Arabic food in here. Then we watched Avengers Endgame and the Timberwolves lose. My 2 favorite things. Nerdy stuff and the Timberwolves losing. I love it.
How did Ricky Rubio do? Well, no.
Thank
Hold
you
on.
Asking.
I saw highlights of Anthony Edwards doing good or making layups and stuff. That wasn't a factor
for winning.
Yeah, I guess not.
We should have won, but our coach sucks. He has no idea what to do. This team should not be in the cellar. I think we're a 7 or 8 seed, but the guy doesn't know what he's doing. We got to fire the coach. And I think an example of that, not to be whoever's in the chat's like, oh, they're talking about sports on a music podcast, but here we go.
Who cares?
When you as a coach, if Ricky Rubio can't learn your system and work at it and improve it, it's not a good system. That's the one thing my friend Brandon said this. That's the one thing he's good at, is just making things happen. And if Ricky Rubio, categorically one of the smartest, smart player, everyone loves playing with him. If he can't figure out what's going on, dude, get out of there.
Ricky Rubio's been a professional basketball player since he was like 12. So you're absolutely right. Like Ricky Rubio is a pro's pro. Like, come on, man.
You should, and like when they're on, like Saunders tries to play Rubio and D'Lo together, and D'Lo's a ball hog. It's like, no, get D'Lo off. He plays hero ball, which is not a knock. And like he creates his own stuff. Run plays for D'Lo. Imagine Ricky getting D'Lo the ball. He's going to get the ball to him. So it just bothers me that
the Wolves are a team that should not be playing ISO
offense.
ball. They should not be playing ISO ball at all. Like,
especially when, and I tweeted some positivity, like Kat and D'Lo have played less than 10 games together. Anthony is crazy. Naz Reid's doing real good. Jaden McDaniels looks like the real deal. So we have so much potential, and it just bums me out that we lose all these games in the third and fourth quarter, and we got to fire the coach. And I'm sad to say that, since it is, Flip's kid, and it's a nice story, but sometimes nice stories aren't fun to watch.
It's Minnesota energy, man. It really is. And I hate to say it, but hiring the son because you guys love the dad, very Minnesota energy.
I mean, he had some flashes, but we're seeing like the philosophy play out, and it's not looking good. I think he's a great assistant coach, but I think he needs to incubate a little bit more. He needs to go back into the utero. He needs to be back in utero and chill out and develop a little bit more before he's born as a head coach.
He needs to start going baby.
He needs to start going baby.
I gotta. So going back to watching Avengers Endgame, so you saw that movie,
yes.
and then you saw the Timberwolves lose. So you cried twice on your birthday.
Well, flip-flopped actually. We watched the Timberwolves lose first and then Endgame. But yeah, I cried twice. I'd be out here crying to Avengers Endgame all the time. I'm trying to think like when was my biggest tear jerking moment in Endgame? It's hard when Tony's doing like his eulogy and he says, "I love you 3000" to Morgan, like right before his funeral. Ugh.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So did you cry more at which point in these two movies? Did you cry more when Pepper told Tony you can rest now? Or when Peter Parker told Tony this doesn't feel good in Infinity War?
Oh, it's definitely Pepper saying you can rest now, just because that's the thing that Tony feared. It's the thing that Pepper didn't want, but it's happening and she's accepting it and Tony's fighting it. The Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. That does suck and it's hard to watch, but
bro, I cried.
At that point, you're just so taken by it. Do you prefer? So you cried to the Peter one more than the Pepper one?
I don't know. I don't know, but it was really
You're tearing up right now.
It was pretty equal, man. I'm just thinking about Peter, like little Peter, man. He was just little Stark's little homie, and he was fucking fading away out of existence, and there was nothing he could do to fight it. And man, and then in Homecoming, Peter's like, they're singing like "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston at the beginning, and man, just that's a father-son bromance that I happen to love.
Home?
Far From Home, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Far From Home is crazy. I love how that's like the epilogue to the final phase of the MCU. And it's Peter, getting the burden and the responsibility. Like he gets the burden and all the tech, and it's awesome. And it's like a celebratory, but also like a wrestling thing, and him dealing with his grief. There needs to be. I love to see dudes dealing with their grief on screen. I think it's always like, I'm a man, and whenever they deal with their grief, it's like a big breakdown. But we constantly see Peter deal with his grief, which is really humanizing and real. And I think what Marvel does good is it all these moments feel earned. And Peter grieving Tony is a really earned moment, and it's not just a thing. It's not just a scene; it's the entire movie. And I think they do a good job humanizing and really hitting these emotional beats of their characters.
That's why,
we should do a movie podcast.
Definitely. And I was thinking about when we were talking to Lars about this, and Lars was just saying like it's they're great at doing what they do, which is like, the summer blockbuster and, action and humor, but no, they're actually really well at doing the softer stuff too.
I think that speaks to, the Russo brothers, they're of the community world. They're of the comedy world. Well, what is comedy? It's it's knowing these moments and when to shoot. And when you know when to pull the trigger on a joke, you know when to pull the trigger on a sad moment as well. Nur-D, let's go. Gang.
Yo, we out here. The link up.
Oops. Sorry, that was the wrong one. I meant this one.
What?
Oh my gosh, I was wrong.
Stop hitting the buzzer for our guests.
I'm sorry.
Stop doing that.
Sorry. Can we do the Spider-Man meme though? Can we do Spider-Man meme?
Just you.
What's going on, Nur-D? How are you?
Oh man, I'm real good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fresh. I'm on the link up. Are you kidding me? The hottest podcast in the land.
Man,
I see you and Auggie match, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you guys are talking about the Spider-Man meme, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man meme. Hey. Nur-D Club is for real. We out here. I honestly, what did I do today? I had a photo shoot today before I hung out with y'all. I had a very nice photo shoot for something coming up. I can't disclose.
Okay.
I can't disclose. but it was pretty dope. And I got myself some Chili's. This is not a paid sponsorship, but I like Chili's. But Chili's should sponsor the Linked Up podcast because,
yeah, why not?
You want to eat good food, you got to eat good podcasts. Get that Chili's money.
Yeah, bro, I have mad love for Chili's, and their margaritas are delicious.
There we go.
Whenever anyone gets the fajitas, everyone like turns and then like, who got fajitas? Like, it's a big moment.
I think they specialize in the loudest fajitas in the game. I can't say they're the best fajitas in the game because I've eaten at like Mexican restaurants and stuff, but I can tell you that they have the loudest fajitas in the game. You'll 100%. Hear that from the other side of the restaurant.
Bro, they put firecrackers in the skillet just so any Insta story happening at the moment. Someone had fajitas and makes you crave chili.
It will turn it up all the way. They bring a little speaker and they just follow around so everybody knows it's fajita time.
Nur-D, I want to talk about your photo shoot just for a second. I have a question about the photo shoot. I know you can't disclose a lot about what's happening.
Yes,
but
yes.
When there's a Nur-D photo shoot, is Take My Picture playing in the background on repeat every time?
Not on repeat. It happens from time to time as everyone is like, remember that time? And I'm like, yeah, I know, I wrote it. But no, we have a myriad of different artists playing in the background while we're doing photo shoots. We like to support the craft, get everybody pumped to take pictures. It's always weird having someone just be like, all right, now do this. All right, now do that. Now stand there. Now do this. Now do, and they're just like, okay, there's only so many ways my face can move.
Do you have Nickelback Photograph on the photo shoot playlist?
Yeah, I don't, but I should.
Yeah, just for the
Look
humor.
at his photograph. That's the only part I know. But no, every time I do it makes me laugh. That's all I actually know.
Bring back Black Genesis as a Nickelback cover band.
Oh my god! You know what though? I don't think I can because I don't think I hang with Nickelback anymore. Not that I was ever a nickelhead or a
nickelhead
or I don't know what they call them, a backbacker. But like, remember that song they put out?
Which one?
It was the one. He cut off all his hair. And it was like, I don't remember what it was. It was like this weird disco-ish thing. And there was a song, and I only remember because of the music video, and it was so uncool. It was, I don't remember the words. No, the words were, funky little monkey. She's a twisted sister. Everybody wants to be the sister's mister.
Oh,
Coca-Cola roller coaster.
Whoa.
Love so good, but I'm not supposed to, or something. Oh. And in the music video, there was a black woman.
No,
stop. Well, clearly it was about
whoa, Auggie. Yeah.
That's terrible.
No, you can't say that.
I was just like, I remember the first time I was like, what? And the girl, keeps me up, or something like that. That's the name of the song.
I'm reading the lyrics right now. You can't. Yeah, to say the least, it's wildly out of pocket.
Yeah, I was just like, Nickelback. If all the people I thought were gonna make a bad choice on this realm, I didn't even consider you.
Yeah, this is, and they double down on this. They keep repeating those words throughout the entire song.
Hook.
Oh my god!
I think Nickelback fans, they were like, our fans aren't gonna notice that. I was just like, somebody did, because I did. And they put it in the music video. At no point that makes me think that Nickelback has no black friends. Not a single black friend of Nickelback was watching that music video and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't have a black woman, and then you point at her and say, funky little monkey.
Not what you want.
Maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
There's definitely not any black backpackers. How does that make it?
Nah.
Yeah, there's no black backpackers. No black nickelheads. We're not out. They're not out here. Not in these streets.
Oh man, how did that get through? I just think about the band, the managers, the engineers, the label,
everybody,
the people filming the music videos,
the extras. Nobody looked dancing around like, I gotta get this. I gotta get this paycheck. So
these lyrics about to keep me up. Just like, how did that happen?
How did that happen? So
all right.
I'm not a Nickelback fan, but you know what? I am a fan of some different music that we're gonna listen to today.
Yes. Did you get a chance to run through Nirvana? And DaBaby?
I did. I mean, I've listened to both of these albums before, but I had to do a refresher. It had been a very long time since I'd listened to In Utero. And I was 3 years old when it came out, so I was bumping it.
Oh yeah, as a baby,
you're bumping it almost In Utero.
Yeah, look at that. That's one link already.
Look at the baby.
Before we dive into our 5 fun facts segment, we were talking about some similarities in the album, and Auggie and I were discussing how Baby on Baby is very fame celebratory, but In Utero is very fame critiquing and analyzing, and how the instrumentation, though obviously different.
Yes.
Baby on Baby's got the sparse, the synth, and the drums and the big 808s, distorted 808s, very minimal but loud. And then Kurt Cobain and Nirvana's, they got, just a bass guitar and the drums, loud, but also very sparse. So it's sparse instrumentation with loudness. These are some parallels that we were drawing here. Did you hear any thematic or sonic parallels?
Let me think. I honestly, the sonic parallels, they're so different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they're so different as far as like how DaBaby comes in and his stuff is pretty much from the start of the song to the end of the song. There's going to be vocals going on pretty much all the time, especially when you hit his like ad libs and stuff like that. It seems like one big thing. While in Utero, it's kind of just like a whole wall of sound for a lot of the songs just the whole time. So that I'd say would be one of the only comparisons, at least for me. Just wow.
I like it.
Yeah, I like
We're getting the bars analysis though.
Yeah. So that's what I would say.
I feel it. Auggie, should I do my Nirvana fun facts or you want to do DaBaby fun facts? What should we do here?
Where should we
go?
Ooh.
All right. Boom. Number 1 in Utero fun facts. Nirvana's record label DGC did not think it would be commercially viable, and they wanted some of the songs to be remixed. Keep in mind that this album did sell. It did go 5 times platinum, so it was commercially viable.
Someone was wrong.
Yeah, they were very wrong. They did, however, bring in Scott Litt of REM fame to make some minor changes to Heart-Shaped Box and All Apologies. So they didn't think it'd be commercially viable. Nur-D, we'll have to have a discussion about whether. Actually, let's do it right now.
Ooh, let's do it.
If a record label is bankrolling the studio time or bankrolling the promotion of an album, do they? How much say do they have in the product? Let's really have it. Let's have a fair.
Let's really have that conversation. Okay, this is this initial thoughts. No time to think about it.
Yeah.
Just how I feel about it. No reconsidering.
Yeah,
I think that there is a level of business, that you have to be to reach that level of musician. If you know that you can't make that record without their money, there is a level of say that they are just going to intrinsically have on your product.
Mm-hmm.
The word says the borrower is slave to the lender. If we're about to get, so something to think about. But that being said, if you are a label or some type of group and you have decided to invest in an artist, you should let them be who they are. You're not paying for them to give you something that you made. You're paying to give the people something that they made. So I think that if you're going to enter into a business relationship with any sort of entity, you should let them know up front how you feel like you're going to do your creative process. And they need to be able to have the trust and the ability to believe in your product, or else why are they giving you money in the first place? This
is a great tie into fun fact number 2. In an effort to keep their record label from interfering with the process, their producer, Steve Albini, suggested that Nirvana pay for the recording sessions out of their own pockets. So,
exactly right.
So here's my thing though. Just on the take of the record label investing in you, they're not really necessarily investing in you per se, because they treat you as your own entity. You're not. That's not an employee-employer relationship. They usually, what happens is they give you the advance. They say use this to pay for studio time and whatever you might need. and then pay us back. So it's not necessarily like not necessarily like a hard investment. It's an investment, but it's not.
That sounds like an investment to me.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but I just
because they don't know if they're going to get that money back. They hope they do.
Mm-hmm.
They hope they do. They hope they make more than what they gave you.
Yeah.
They want to at least break even, but they hope that they get more than what they gave you.
Okay.
That sounds like an investment.
Okay. All right, you're right. I take that back. I was completely wrong.
No, it's like, but for real though, I feel like, but you're right. I don't think people know enough about that. It's like, yo, you are an independent contractor a lot of these times.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are your own entity. These people are putting money into your business to hope to get a return on the money that they put in.
Yeah.
So it's like, but you need to have that conversation with them right off the bat. If you know what you want to do, don't settle for less than that. And yeah, just be smart. And then like fact number 4, if you can pay for it yourself, pay for it yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything they have to say. You can tell them to kick rocks, take a long walk off a short pier.
We're entering into legal literacy and knowing what you're signing, which I think is an important thing. I think we're seeing it's a balance. You have to trust the artist to make something dope, and the label has to realize where they're
putting their money into.
Yeah, what they're putting their money into and what they're supporting. But I think that, like, an artist also has to realize that. But also, just read your contracts, which I think is a good thing. Of
everybody read your contracts.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a hot take, but it kind of is. But I think people are starting to learn that.
Yeah, I feel like enough people have gone successful independent that they're like, that is known now. It's like there's a whole class is taught on people who got screwed over on contracts.
Yeah. So, not to say that like the distribution of a label is incredible. The distribution and promotion of a label is unmatched. But I think at this point in the modern age, I think it's understood that the label is at the mercy of the artist and the fans.
If you have a good connection, if you know your art is going to work well with the people you made your art for, push for that. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are buying the album anyway. If you know they're not going to like something that's been changed by a label, you need to fight for that, or otherwise you might lose them, and they're the only reason you got there in the first place. The label doesn't care, because if you don't sell, they don't need you.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's a nice bow on the. Yeah. Damn. Boom. All right. I have a. This is a fun fact 2B. In addition to Steve Albini, this guy is a real one. He only took a flat fee of $100,000 for his work on In Utero. He refused to take a percentage of the album sales because he considered it immoral and a quote insult to the artist.
Yo,
he's a real one.
All right,
he's a real one.
Shout out to Albini.
Formal fun fact number 3. Recording of this album started on February 12th, 1993 at Pachyderm Studio in Cannon Falls, Minnesota. I was also born in Minnesota on that exact same day.
Oh my goodness. Greatness
in there.
At the same time.
What's the link between In Utero and me? Am I also scared of fame? Is that why I don't fully dive into my media career?
Ooh, we're about to get introspective.
Fun fact number 4. The album art and packaging is all about medical imagery, which was Kurt's way of portraying how he felt about fame. He thought he was always being analyzed and dissected, and people were trying to diagnose him. So,
look at that.
Huh.
Boom. Fun fact number 5. This is another 2. Well, actually, okay, you guys get a choice. Do you want to hear a fun fact about the album title or fun fact about heart-shaped box?
Oh.
I want to know about the album title. I don't know. Something that I feel like that's got something in there.
I'm going to do both.
No, you can't. You can't. You gave us a choice.
All right, fine.
You thought you had a choice.
Early titles for In Utero included verse, chorus, verse, and I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. Oof. The latter was abandoned when the band became concerned that fans might not understand it was a joke.
I don't think
it was a joke.
No. I don't think it was a joke. That was not a joke.
Oh. Imagine if in that
both these.
Imagine that universe where, because there's if we believe in the multiverse, there's a universe where that album is named I Hate Myself, I Want to Die, and there's a completely different legacy around that album, and people are like, it's like Machiavelli, like people are like searching for clues and shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it kind of bums me out. So I'm going to read fun fact number 6 just to cleanse the palate, shall we?
Yes.
Oh my words.
Fun fact number 6, heart-shaped box. Courtney Love Kurt's ex-wife said on Twitter that this song is about her slippery body cavern. It's not. It's actually about a heart-shaped box that Kurt. It's about a heart-shaped box that Courtney gave Kurt. That said, Courtney said that she overheard Kurt working on this riff in a closet, and she said, "Hey, can I use that riff for my band Hole?" And Kurt replied, "Fuck you," and closed the closet door on his wife, who tried to steal a song from him.
That's what did him in.
Yeah,
it seems as though they had some marriage problems.
Courtney Love, America's sweetheart, Courtney Love. What?
Yeah, so trying to say she got it. Saying that song's about me and my body. No, it's about a gift you gave him.
Interesting. That's an interesting thing to want that to be.
That makes sense. A heart-shaped box. It's kind of
does it?
No, I mean,
does it make sense?
Just the word box. It's like just because the word box doesn't mean.
Like that seems interesting.
That's terrible, man.
Heart-shaped. Okay.
I wish I knew more about this to hate her more, but I don't like her right now. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
She was just abusive and manipulative of Kurt. And I think
there is a running theory out in the universe. I will not speak. I will not pontificate on whether or not this is true or not. I'm just saying there's a theory that Kurt Cobain's tragic passing wasn't as self-inflicted as one may think.
I've heard this as well.
Which is, I don't even know how you start to pontificate on that. So let's not.
I'm not gonna. I would never do that.
Nah.
Courtney killed Kurt.
Stop it, Auggie.
Who said that? Who said that? Someone said it wasn't us. It was nobody on this podcast.
Augie, get your whisper out of here and take us through 5 fun facts of Baby on Baby.
All right, so here we go. Diving in straight into number 1. Anybody who was at South by Southwest in 2017 saw Baby Jesus, or actually the artist formerly known as Baby Jesus, wearing a diaper around, and that was Jonathan Kirk, aka the Baby. He did not use the diaper.
Do we respect that? We don't know that. We don't know that.
I was like, is that the fun fact number 2? Because
do we rock with that? Do we rock with a guy named Baby Jesus rocking a diaper on stage?
That just sounds like your neighborhood guy on drugs.
Yeah. I hope he used it.
It's just Baby Jesus, the guy with the diaper. He's cool.
I approve.
He's fine.
He's cool. Give him.
Yo, you approve, Auggie?
I approve. I went to a Parliament Funkadelic show, and there was a guy, one of the band members. I don't remember who it was, but he was wearing a diaper on the stage, and I think that's his thing. He wears a diaper on the stage. So,
yeah.
So cheers. He's just following
the
tradition.
Old, though?
It's funk, man. Funk. See, the difference between funk and rap is that funk you really can do. The stranger you are, the more in like the right thing you're doing.
I love that.
Yeah, he's wearing a diaper and he's like eating some ribs. He's
wiping the rib fingers on the diaper.
Someone's just braiding his hair. It's like a large, like Polly Pocket doll. They don't know where to find. Don't. Everyone's like, yes, this is normal. This is how funk should go.
And that was my experience.
I hope the baby. Yeah, I hope the baby used it. I hope the baby used the diaper.
I feel like that's a flex.
It is a flex. Imagine if that came out that he used the diaper, and now we're all like vibes. It went viral.
Like, I guess there you go.
He flexed his rectum, is what you're saying. All right.
There you go, everybody.
I kind of spoiled my fun fact number 2 with that one. He's the son of Old Dirty Bastard. Not really, but he used to be called Baby Jesus. Old Dirty Bastard used to be known as Big Baby Jesus. So maybe.
Oh, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they are related.
Where does Celtics center Glenn Big Baby Davis fit into this Big Baby lexicon that we're discussing?
The baby verse.
The baby verse into the baby verse.
Into the baby verse, man.
There's got to be a movie.
Let's get all the babies together.
Okay. Who's in the baby verse? Glenn Davis, the baby, Lil Baby,
Birdman.
Baby Birdman.
Yeah.
ODB.
Baby Bop from Barney.
Yep.
Baby Bjorn, the little toy.
Yeah.
Toy growing up.
I think all the Rugrats got to be in this.
Oh,
But they
that's a
weren't
good one.
called they were babies. Yeah, no, they were babies. So all the Rugrats.
Oh, Boss Baby. Come on, man.
And Boss Baby.
I think that's it. That's 10.
That's all the babies.
That's 10 entities.
That's all the babies we can think of. There are no more babies.
Oh,
Would
Harold
you watch
Miner.
that movie?
Harold
Who's Harold
Miner.
Miner?
Harold Miner, aka Baby Jordan. That's for all my old school NBA fans from back in the day. He played for the Miami Heat. He had a lot of dunk
There you go.
highlights. Baby Jordan.
There we go. We got the other one.
Damn.
Man, that's a lot of babies.
That's a lot of babies. I wouldn't
Man.
watch that movie. It seems cluttered.
I feel like the female parts are underwritten.
Yeah. There's a representation problem happening
Yeah.
It definitely is.
I wouldn't watch the Babyverse movie. I might watch a show where you could like get them all woven in, like very WandaVision style. Give me a slow burn and we'll make it happen.
Let's save the WandaVision combo for the end of the pod because that shit
yes.
is fire.
Yeah.
We're about to get into it, but yes,
Okay.
we'll save it for later.
So,
Auggie, number 3.
fun fact number 3.
Number 4?
We're on 3. He was dating Danny Lay, and I didn't know this. Man, this might be like common knowledge, but him and Danny Lay were a thing up until like last week, which is pretty crazy to me. Did any of you guys know this?
What?
No, I didn't know that. When that tweet came out, I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, guys. You hate to see that. I want love to thrive and prosper.
I mean, yeah.
And
That's all.
and
just want
That's
them-
sad. I never like
Yeah.
anybody to be sad.
and I like that diplomatic response.
Yes.
Giving this a little bit more of a fun fact layer. The song Yellow Bone,
Ooh.
which Danny Lay drew a lot of critique for. She said she wrote that from her boyfriend DaBaby's perspective.
There's a lot of when you're speaking from someone's perspective, it gets real dicey in art, which we will talk about later on about Nirvana's Rape Me. It's hard to write stuff from a perspective like that. I think obviously Danny Lay's is much less problematic, but still.
I never really. I mean, art is art, obviously, and there are larger breadths and widths that we can like kind of like let people roll with art to get into different like emotions and whatnot. So I never want to tell somebody that they can't do something necessarily, but that might not have been the best idea.
Nah,
There are things you can do and then things you should do.
that's
And-
exactly what it is.
and that's pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is
But I'm sad that if they're sad, I am sad for them. I
Yes.
empathize for the end of their relationship. Hopefully, they'll be better people to the next people they come across.
That's all you can ask for. That's a healthy breakup.
There you go.
that's a healthy response.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
Very
I don't think they're hurting. I don't think they're hurting for companionship either of
No.
them.
oh no.
They'll be fine.
She definitely ain't.
They'll be fine.
Fun fact number 4.
Oh my God.
He recorded an unofficial Carolina Panthers theme song, a la Nate Million's Vikings unofficial theme song. His song was called Dab, and he was bigging himself up in it, but also bigging up the Panthers.
Is he a bigger Panthers fan or a bigger Hornets fan?
I think he's
Because he
bigger
used to be a big
Hornets
Hornets guy. Yeah, he's always rocking the throwback Jays, and he looks amazing, and I love to see it. I love to see a
Yes.
non-Lakers or non-Knicks jersey in hip hop. Like, yes, let's go.
It is pretty fun because it's just like, oh yeah,
Yeah, go, old Chris Paul. Yeah, Chris Paul.
that's dope.
And they're beautiful jerseys too. I just love them. They're one of my favorite jerseys of all time. The old school
I like
Hornets.
the color. I like the color. I wish they just did better.
Yeah, well, they got LaMelo now. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
He's always rocking the Larry Johnson jersey in his videos.
Mhm.
I was gonna say it was
Yes.
Muggsy Bogues, but it was Larry Johnson.
I mean, he should wear the Muggsy Bogues because they're similar in height. Okay, fun fact number 5.
Nice.
DaBaby signed with Rock Nation initially before signing his current contract. And both sides parted ways before the news even broke. So they were just like in and then immediately out. It's a mystery as to what exactly happened, but it's amicable.
Dang, that's an L for Rock Nation.
That's the room where it happened situation. No one's gonna know what conversation was had, because that's a quick in and out.
Mm-hmm. Just like Danny Lay's career.
Oh.
Poor Danny.
Look at him sipping.
Poor Go Show alumni Danny Lay. Fumbled it. Soiled it.
She soiled
it
the
like the
diaper.
baby's diaper.
Oh man. I really hope that it was all his fault so that we can feel super bad about this later. I hope it all comes out so that we can all take a moment and realize our hubris and to come back out and write a retraction.
We can do like the nice the Notes app screenshot on Twitter. I love doing those.
Oh man. Oh no. Oh no.
I want you to know that I'm sorry.
That's how you know you've been.
And I want you to know
you've been to.
that I don't really feel bad.
I really thought about this.
And you never and I'll never acknowledge what I did.
Fake apologies. I'm not for it in 2021. I don't have the energy.
I don't like the PR apology. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, especially after going on Instagram and like condemning Gina Carano and Morgan Wallen. It's like, I don't want an apology. I want change. The best apology is changed behavior. I don't want some statement from your publicist. I would like it if Morgan Wallen just, disappeared for 6 months and then he came back saying, "Hey, I learned about what I did. Like I was ignorant about this. I made some changes."
Question about that though. Don't you do you not think it's important to at the same time say that's what you're doing before you leave? Because just dipping out might be like considered like people think you're running from the situation.
True.
That's a great point. I mean, I think it's a lose-lose at that. So, because either if you apologize and say you're doing that, then it's like, okay, they're just doing that to get us off their back. I think
you should say you're sorry and then take your L's when nobody believes you. Because if you're really sorry, it doesn't matter.
That's that's a ding. That's a like ding.
Where we at?
Don't hit the buzzer. Okay,
no, I try not to.
don't hit a buzzer for true apologies.
Yeah, it's a true apology. Nah, fake apologies all day.
The worst thing about that Morgan Wallen thing, though, was that country fans immediately like went out to support this man and bought physicals immediately after.
I'm still mad at that. The guy's number one, and I was just like, "Yo, so that's how it is." Have we gone full circle from when I remember that. Paula Deen lost her show. That girl got cut off. And she was cooking for me. She was showing me how to do something. This guy wasn't for me. This guy wasn't for me at all. And now he's number one.
Is this no? I don't think I think okay. I'm going to give country fans a lot of leash here. Okay, but let's have the conversation. Are they streaming his music as a rebuttal of cancel culture?
100%.
See, then that's the.
I don't even know your other thing, but I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, but or are they actually racist? Like, I don't think that many people could be that outward.
I'm sorry. Did you miss what happened just a few days ago?
I was going to say, I was like, wait a minute, nah.
I think they're still sweeping up glass at the Capitol. It'll tell you that that's not true.
Yeah. I definitely was thinking about, hey, the last 3 days have been okay.
Yeah, like no one's done anything that crazy the last 3 days. I don't necessarily. This is what I'm gonna say. I think there's gonna be a combination of two things or three things. I think it's cancel culture people who don't realize that they're racist and think that they're mad about cancel culture, but what they're really mad about is white people being held accountable for their actions. The second group of people are actual racist people who are like, oh, that's dope. I love that. Give me more of that, please. And then I think, to give people the benefit of the doubt, I think people just heard this dude's name a bunch. And they were just like, who is this guy? So his streaming numbers went up because people were like clicking his name and figuring out who this dude was.
Should I like
is he
this
any
guy?
good? Like, why is he saying this guy? And then they're like, click, 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 click. Because I didn't know this dude until it happened. So, like, I can't imagine nobody else was Spotifying this dude to figure out who he was.
Yeah. I think that's again, Nur-D with another bow on the convo.
Or
this is what I do.
Or maybe they were like, this guy says the N-word. Let me listen for some N-word music. I want to hear him say N-word songs.
Let me listen to this. This is what I love to hear, please. Janice, could you please get my my smoking jacket while I listen to this in the lounge?
Auggie, do you have a fun fact number 5?
I think that was a 5.
Was that 5? Let me look back. I just want to say this just for the record, just since we're recording this podcast and it's going to live forever on the internet. Cancel culture is not real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that.
It is not real. Gina Carano got fired because she did some stuff that was not a good look for Disney, and they said, "Hey, this is not a good look for us. You are on a TV show right now. We got to part ways." I would have probably got fired for something similar. I've gotten fired for less. Getting fired is not getting canceled.
Yeah, we had social media contract. We had clauses in our contracts for social media. We represent the company.
Your real talk. Like if you do something that makes people not want to buy the product of the company you work for, and the boss knows that the longer you stay there, the less they will buy from them, they're not going to keep you. They have no responsibility to keep you. Like if you why would that? It's a business. It is a business move. It's not like, I'm going to punish this person for saying something I don't like. That doesn't happen to random white people very often.
and Disney gave her 3 chances. That's the rumor, that they gave her 3 chances to calm down. And let's talk about this. She did not get fired for being a conservative. She wasn't saying, yes, I love a strong military defense and low taxes and capitalism. She was saying transphobic and anti-Semitic things. She was doubling down on anti-Semitic memes for months.
Conservatives should be mad at her. Conservatives should be mad because they should be like, that's not what conservatism is. Like, that's not the same thing. It shouldn't be hand in hand. If you say something racist or transphobic, people shouldn't immediately equate that to conservatism unless they're the same thing. And if you don't believe they're the same thing, when someone says the former, like, you should not let them equate it to the latter.
Exactly. Condemn it.
Condemn it.
Classic.
I think it'd be a nice,
Oh, I'm sorry, Jordan. Go ahead.
Sorry.
My bad.
No, I was just saying it would be a nice concession. I think that'd be a worthy concession. Auggie, what's up?
I had to say classic conservatism is dead. It's like, or it's very extremely underground. Like classic conservatism is gone out of the United States. Like pretty much all of them are rallied around something that isn't necessarily conservative, whether it's QAnon, whether it's some of the other bullshit. Somehow we got political here, and let's pivot.
It's the first order of political parties. It really is just the Sith, but people don't know that.
And I love when Ben Shapiro has a Star Wars take. Like, bro, you are caping for Palpatine right now. You not watch the movies. George Lucas says this so many times, and you are riding for the. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I love it. And also, fun fact, I've never watched The Mandalorian.
I'm so sorry for all the spoilers I put out on Twitter.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm all right with it. I think Baby Yoda looks cool. I'm down for it. But yeah, I've never actually watched The Mandalorian. I thought I was gonna, and then I just didn't. It never clicked for me. So I was like, meh. That was me.
I respect it.
So when you get some sort of flu, no, I don't respect it. But when you get when you get some type of flu and you're down for 3 days and you got the saltines and soup and you pop in The Mandalorian, text me and we can have a canonical conversation about it.
Have a conversation. For Star Wars, this is my thing, right? After they did my boy Finn wrong, my whole feelings on the franchise has kind of been like, I don't really feel like playing on with you guys anymore.
Yeah, that's maddening. The Finn and Kelly, the Finn and Kelly Marie Tran sidelining as a result of your Ben Shapiro type fans is maddening.
Yeah. So I was just like, I think it's clear that this you guys are playing a different game. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna enjoy my other things. Disney does well as well, so I'm just gonna be like, all right, peace. I'll come back later. I'll maybe watch Donald Glover does Lando, the television show.
That's gonna be so sick. And also they got Star Wars Visions where they're bringing in the best Japanese animators to do some Star Wars anime. Let's go.
I might jump back in for that kind of stuff because that sounds like what I'd like.
It's gonna be crazy. Auggie, what's our next step here? Should we do One's Gotta Go?
Let's do One's Gotta Go. I just want to add something to this. If they do Lando and our man Donald Glover's doing the Lando show before we get another season of Atlanta, I will raid the Capitol myself.
This is cool. Kept busting the door. Nancy Pelosi, where is Atlanta?
Yep.
I know
Where's
you
season
have
3?
it here.
It's in the laptop. They're going to steal from you and then try to sell to Russia.
That's what they were looking for. They were really fighting for us. And here we are making fun of them. They were trying to find a third season of
Our
Atlanta.
true heroes.
They're true patriots. They knew it was there. Oh, that's
Where's Lakeith Stanfield? Where is he?
Where is it?
Get him.
Where is Ja?
That was that dude with the handcuffs. He was trying to find Lakeith to make him fucking put out the episode.
Oh
my God.
Where is it? That's the guy with the buffalo hat. He was not playing around. He was like, "Give it to me." 'Cause you looked at him and he said, "That guy loves Childish Gambino." He loves him. He's super into it. All black art, all day, every day.
I was gonna say he wasn't a fan of Awake My Love. He was like, I love camp. He loves that. I
want
camp.
Bonfire. He was humming Bonfire the entire time.
Jordan.
Turn the lights out.
That is ridiculous.
Jordan.
All right.
Oh man.
All
That's
right.
enough. of that.
So we're gonna do One's Gotta Go. I want to give you the Nirvana in utero ones first. So Nur-D, feel free. I want to get your take on this One's Gotta Go. This is from the periphery of Nirvana or just stuff that circles around the album In Utero, and one of them's just gotta be banished from existence. Here we go. One is
All right, here we go.
Pachyderm Studios in Cannon Falls. 2, Dave Grohl. 3, flannel shirts. And 4,
Oh no.
MTV.
Oh my word.
Oh, that's so tough. And I regret that my answer has to be Pachyderm Studios in Cannon Falls, Minnesota.
Oh wow.
It's got to go. Flannels in Nirvana is Oreos and milk, man. They're
Just coming at
inseparable.
businesses here in Minnesota, snapping them out of existence like Thanos. Interesting.
I'm so sorry. Pachyderm Studios, which is a legendary studio, but again, you can't erase flannels from 90s
Apparently
grunge.
not legendary enough.
Hear me out. And okay, which one? All right, Nur-D, which one are you taking out then?
Oh, that's an easy choice as soon as he said flannel shirts.
Bro, flannels and grunge are milk and cookies. Peanut butter jelly.
You're talking to the wrong dude. Protected grudge is not my number one priority.
I'm not going to. Well, you might be onto something because it's dead.
You brought the wrong guy on the show. I'm like, flannel shirts, that's it?
Bro,
Like
flannels go
lumberjack
hard.
stuff. I feel bad for the brawny guy, but I'm pretty sure he'd be cool without a shirt. Like that dude can rock it. He's got a nice bod. Show it off. It's 2021.
Damn.
Everybody wants a little bit of more sweet with their paper towels.
I have to say, for the record, Jordan hates Minnesota. He eliminated Pachyderm Studios from the conversation.
How dare you? How dare you? I was being critical here. I was trying to be fair. I don't want to be a caricature of myself. And if I'm getting roasted for expanding my horizons and how do you guys feel that you're roasting someone for trying to broaden their horizons?
I feel great.
You just stifled my growth.
Nur-D got it right though. That was
I feel great.
my correct answer was flannel shirts. Even though flannel and grunge do go hand in hand, and
That is the correct
I love
answer.
them myself.
They do.
It's not necessary. We don't need it. You can wear hoodies.
I feel bad for Mick Foley because I know Mick Foley loves flannel shirts. Cactus Jack, shout out to Cactus Jack.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he can find something else to wear.
Hey,
Mankind just wore a dress shirt.
What's Kanye wearing under his shirt during the Watch the Throne tour if he's not tying the flannel around his waist?
Could tie a hoodie.
That's a fair point. Maybe I made a mistake.
So,
Could tie a hoodie.
you just deleted Watch the Throne away from the history of the world.
Maybe I've made a mistake. You're right.
All
Get Kanye out of here.
One's got to go from the periphery of DaBaby's career, around Baby on Baby. Nur-D, Auggie. Here we go. Number 1, his social media presence. A big part of DaBaby's meteoric rise was his amazing posts on Triller. That's how I found out about him. His dance moves paired with his personality. I was like, this guy's awesome.
Okay.
I must figure out what's up with him. And I loved him. Number 2, no collab with the Jabberwockies.
Ooh.
On SNL, poured more gas on his mainstream fire. Number 3, his fandom of the Charlotte Hornets. He's just a dude, and he doesn't get the support of NBA Twitter behind him. And then number 4, he doesn't collaborate with Jetson Maid. Jetson Maid's minimal and booming productions are fun and sound like the soundtrack to a Crash Bandicoot video game, which pairs very well to DaBaby's voice and flow. Which one's out of here? There he is. That's my guy Crash. There he is.
So I gotta say,
I'm gonna
go first, Nur-D. Go first.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say his fandom with the Hornets.
Oh, my heart.
I know, and I really love to see that. Like, I like to see that. I just think that I was thinking of what I could take away that'll be the least detrimental to his rise, and I think because of the Jabberwockies, his work on social media, like him and his producer, like that, I think that one thing is icing, but I don't think it stops him from doing anything.
I think you take out the Jabberwockies and you teach the SNL cast members the dance, and then they come out.
No.
And imagine if Keenan was doing it though, and who's another cast member? I don't even know. And freaking
Horatio Sands comes back.
David, what's his name?
He comes.
Ariana's
I only
ex?
know a few people. There's Shazir Zameda,
Pete Davidson,
Pete Davidson.
Colin Jost.
Davidson, Colin Jost, Michael Che.
Hold up, Nur-D. Oh, you hear Nur-D sound like an alien right now?
No, he sounds clear.
Well,
to me.
sound like an
Or is
alien?
that just me?
He sounds fine to me.
Okay, then it's just me. Never mind.
Okay, good. I'm certainly not an alien, if anyone asks.
We don't know that. That's what an alien would say, frankly.
Yeah.
Anyway, Auggie.
So
Get off of that.
So for me, with this one, I'm stuck between two. I'm stuck between the social media presence, because he's not very active on Twitter as it is, and also you don't really if you kill a man in a Walmart and you get off with it right before your album drops, you don't really need social media. That's doing all the talking for you. And the other one is the Jabberwockies, I think, because we could have had Shaq, or we could have had SNL cast members. We didn't really need it, but it was cool.
Can I have an addendum? The more I've thought about it, the more I hate the idea of the SNL cast members going on stage and doing it. I'm sorry for bringing that up.
I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you found your way to that, because I was going to say something.
I was like, wait a minute, this is actually a terrible, terrible take.
You would never have been able to make it.
I don't like it anymore. Delete. I'm editing. That's out of the podcast. I'm chopping it out.
You'll never know what we just said. And that's okay.
All right. Yo, you guys can hear me, right? I'm recording, but I can't hear myself. I think my system's messing up, which is why I had that problem.
I think it's because you said that DaBaby should have done that whole dance with the SNL cast. Everything is shutting down on you.
My FBI agent's like, no, we're done.
Yeah, it was
We're
like,
outta here.
we can't let this dangerous propaganda out on the streets for people to just consume.
We're running long. Should we go right into the link up, Auggie? Skip the gateway drug. I don't think the gateway drug matters in this circumstance.
No, we're good. Yeah, mine was anyway. All right, yeah, link up. Here we go. Jordan, explain it
this time. All right, so the link up is where we, Auggie and I, try to compare these two albums and artists as many times as possible. Nur-D will be the judge. Nur-D, if you like a link, you say ding. If you hate it, you say eh. That first eh, game over. Okay, it's kind of like you're playing catch with your son, and he drops it. All right, we're done. We're going inside.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
If you're listening to this podcast, please check on Jordan. Please call him. Let him know you care. That was some sad stuff we just said.
The dark humor was great. I like it.
And then it's done. He said it's done. He packs up, he leaves, he never comes home.
I want to say my dad was like champ at catch. He was putting the toilet bowl up in the house so we could like throw it through the toilet bowl so it could be really accurate. He took catch very seriously.
Wow.
Yeah, of course he did, because if you missed it, apparently he was out and let you know that at the top. Don't you drop it.
Bro, that's that Arab parenthood. There's no time for mistakes.
There's no mistakes.
No, you're going to be an engineer. You're going to be a radio personality. What? What about math? What about science?
What about math and catch?
Catch.
And-
Right.
Jabroni.
All right.
That's amazing.
So,
But before we get into this, Jordan,
Auggie, you're going first?
who am I going first?
Yeah, I went first last week.
Okay, I'm going to do the intro. This is a new thing that I'm testing out now. Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh.
It's Auggie versus Jordan. Your judge is Nur-D, and this is the Link Up Challenge.
Oh. I like it.
You like it? Okay.
I like it a lot.
Cool. We're
That was smooth.
We're workshopping it as we speak, so this was just a test. This might be
rock
the Link
with
Up
it.
thing music.
That was smooth.
All right. Jordan, you ready?
Yeah, I dig it. Yep.
All right. Here we go. DaBaby
All right.
appears on Enemies by Post Malone. Post did a Nirvana tribute with Travis Barker during quarantine. Nur-D.
Ding.
Yeah, that one's strong.
That's ding. That's a strong
That's a good link. Nirvana wanted to start recording In Utero in summer 1992. That didn't happen because Kurt and Courtney Love were expecting DaBaby, their baby, Francis Bean.
I'm gonna give you a ding just so it doesn't end right now.
Okay. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna give you a dig. I'll give you a dig. That was a soft dig, but there you go.
Okay. Appreciate it.
All right.
Auggie, go on.
Here we go. Dave Grohl.
That's amazing.
Of course, we know him as drummer of Nirvana, or we know him for other things, but at this time, we knew him as drummer of Nirvana. Started his music career in a band that was originally called Freaky Baby. DaBaby is freaky, as we saw in the song Carpet Burn.
Ding. That's good.
Damn.
That's good. That was very good.
All right. DaBaby is from Charlotte. Nirvana's from Seattle. Both cities had their NBA teams taken away from them at some point.
Ding.
Wow.
I'll take
Thank
that.
you.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
Good job. I like
that.
that.
Throw a little bit of NBA history. I like that. That's fun.
Man,
That's fun.
Nur-D, your face scared me. I was like, oh, shit.
That was good. That was
Okay.
it was an interesting fact that people might
Thank you.
not know. I'll take
Thank you.
that one.
All right. Q Beats is a producer on the song Pony on the Baby's album, Baby on Baby. He also produced No Shopping for French Montana. French Montana was on Bad Boy, and so was the rock remix of All About the Benjamins, which featured Dave Grohl on drums.
Ding.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
That's 6 degrees of separation. That's fun.
Okay. I'm gonna go on a million. I'm gonna link myself to DaBaby and then Kurt, and then I'll take 60 minutes. And
Let's
it's gonna
do it.
All right.
That was
Let's
a soft
see.
ding, though. I will
Okay.
admit that was a soft ding.
I
feel
put a lot
better
of work
about
into
that
that
then.
one. I put a lot of work.
I can tell.
Okay. I think. Have we all seen that fake picture that goes viral of Tupac and Kurt Cobain every few months?
I have seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. So every few months, that picture goes viral. Tupac is a song off of Baby on Baby.
Ding. I'll give
There
you
you
that
go.
ding.
There you go.
Is that a soft
Only
ding?
because I've seen the meme. No, that's a good one. I've seen the meme, so like I know what he's doing.
There you go. Thank you. Respect. We're back on good terms, dude.
I'm sorry. Hey, I'm impartial of being real.
All
I
right.
respect it.
All right. So then I'm giving you this one. DaBaby
All right.
appeared as musical guest on Saturday Night Live in 2019. Nirvana also did this many, many years prior, in 92 and in 93.
Yeah, ding. Both are on this island.
Oh.
That's connecting. They both. There's not so many people who've done that. Get out of
Man.
here. Get out of here. Don't
Okay,
give me
fine.
that nonsense.
I'm just mad that now we're into my pun link section, which is not good.
All right, here we go.
Let me see. Let me just read them all real quick. Okay. Let's see if I can make you laugh. In Utero producer Steve Albini is an avid poker player. He won the 7-card stud World Series of Poker event in 2018. After he won, you know he celebrated, which is a track off Baby on Baby.
That's done.
Yes!
Damn it.
No, you didn't.
Okay. Would you have taken this one?
All
Would
right,
you have
hit
taken
me.
this one?
You know he celebrated. What?
Okay. This is the other one I was thinking about doing.
Okay.
If your pennyroyal tea isn't sweet enough for you, you can add some sugar.
I would have certainly not given that.
All right.
Let me give you.
Oh man.
Let me give you. Let me give you my last one that I don't know if you would have approved this or
Wait.
not, but I need to know.
All right. Oh, okay.
In Utero was recorded in Cannon Falls, Minnesota. DaBaby raps like he was launched from a cannon.
No. That would have been. That would have been an. That would have been an.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Like he was launched from a can. Exactly how does that sound, Auggie?
Like the baby, apparently.
There you go. Easy.
So Nur-D.
I had one more.
Nur-D.
Hold up.
I didn't.
Augie, I got one more. Nur-D, let us know your thoughts. Walker, Texas Ranger is a DaBaby song. It's also a TV series starring Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris does not apologize for being a badass. He offers no apologies, which links to all apologies. I lost you at the end. You were ready for it, and he said no.
I was like, all right. I like when it's like, and this was here, and I love to play 6 degrees of separation.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, and then this guy was here, and this guy's here, and then they were both on this. But then you just said no apologies, kind of like all apologies.
Yeah, I lost a lot of steam. Augie, what was the point you're about to bring?
Yeah, that's in the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
So Nur-D, I forgot to prep you on this. Before we got on this, the loser gets a penalty, and it's up to you to decide what the penalty is. So on the spot, if you can come up with something for Jordan, that would be great.
Let me see. I think the penalty is going to be you have to eat an entire jar of baby food.
A jar?
A jar of baby food.
They're
How
little.
big is a jar?
They're little.
They're little jars.
Oh.
It's a baby food. It's
I thought you meant like a fucking like a jar. Like
I'm not talking about like like the stuff you get from the center baby food. I'm talking about like just go to the supermarket, get a thing of baby food, get your favorite flavor, maybe squash,
boysenberry.
What you're into?
Do they have a boysenberry?
I hope not. I hope they don't.
All right, and I will record myself eating it, and I'll post it on the Wake Up LP.
There you go. That's what it is.
I like it.
All right, it's time. I'll do that, and also it's time for In Summation. This is where we have conversations that didn't quite fit anywhere else in the podcast. And also, I got some questions for you, Nur-D.
Got it.
Here we go. We already had that conversation. This is gonna be a trigger warning.
Trigger warning, everybody.
We're gonna talk about the song "Rape Me."
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Which we kind of touched on. This song is about Kurt's writing from the perspective of someone who got raped, and that person is thinking like, you're going to get your karma at some point.
Mm-hmm.
What do we make of that?
I think it's completely inappropriate, and that song should have never been made.
Even with the intent of like, he wanted to be an ally.
That's not the way to do it. First of all, that sort of thing is so huge to people. Like anyone who suffered that, anybody who knows anybody who suffered that, like just to throw that out there. And remember, this is back before culturally people were really caring about people's feelings like that. Like, so they just had to suffer with that. There wasn't trigger warning. Like there wasn't like things like that, what we think to do instinctively now. It was just like, oh, that makes you sad. Kind of eat that, take that L. And that's super unfortunate. So he decided to make this song, intentions or not, and he made money off of it. Because as far as I know, it's not like he took all the money and proceeds from this album and donated it to people who survived sexual assault. So it's just like you just took someone else's experience and profited off it. One of the most horrific experience somebody could have endured and profited off it. And I think that's messed up. I understand wanting to help people. That's not a way to do it.
Yep. I think he definitely missed the mark.
Missed the mark 100%.
Now,
it's hard to listen to.
If Rape Me was a song recorded by Hole or, a female-led band, would you feel differently?
I think it would be if the person singing the song, writing the song did not have that experience. Because that is what it's about. Everybody of any gender persuasion has the ability to have that happen to them. It doesn't, while it might happen statistically more often to those who identify as female, it is not an exclusively female problem. So many men, sexual assaults go unreported because of toxic masculinity affecting them in a negative way to keep them from getting the justice that they need. So I'm not even saying that if it was an all-female band or all-female identifying band that it would be cool. I'm saying that if that is not your story to tell, it's not your story to tell.
Okay.
I think that's really well said. And we've often wrestled with this about like artist intent and if something makes you feel a certain way, is that valid art? And I don't think. I feel like, okay, Howard Stern saying ridiculous things, shock jock radio. Is that talented radio? No, I just think he just has the confidence to do it and say it and be bulletproof in that regard. And I don't think that's really an admirable artistic trait.
Yeah, I think that white men not being afraid, straight white men, not being afraid of saying whatever they want is not like a cool. That's like playing Guitar Hero on easy mode. Like that's not a cool thing. Good for you, I guess.
Howard Stern, you're so bold to do what you've historically done forever.
This entire time and getting paid for it. This is what I will say. There are ways for allies to write songs about situations that did not particularly like happen to them. You can find ways to do that. I think the way that song was written was not the way to do it.
Yeah.
But like you can find a way to there are people who write songs about other people and things that happen to other people all the time. It's just there's a better way to do it. And that was like a lot. Even just re-listening to it for this podcast. I remember I got to that song because I forgot that song was on there. And I was just like, wow. But then I thought to myself, what a luxury it is for me to have forgotten that song was out there. And people might have been living with hearing that song in their head their entire life.
Yeah, especially if like Nirvana was your favorite band, and then you hear that. And that's like, and not only is it reliving your trauma, it also institutes a new type of trauma too, because your art, something that helps you, the artist that helped you process some stuff is now putting salt in that wound.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that. I don't like that song. I don't think that they did it the way they're supposed to do. Again, I say I have a long leash when it comes to art, but I think that was a misstep. There's things that you can do, and there's things that you should do.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
All right. And what else? What else we got? Auggie, what do we got?
As for
rising up and coming rapper, awesome person, Nur-D.
So I don't have a lot for In Utero because it was a great listen. And tragically I had the song Rape Me in my head for like an entire day and it was terrible. Because that song's actually really catchy because he repeats the phrase over and over again. But with the with the baby, one thing I want to bring up is his infatuation with Death Row Records. Number one, he's got the song Suge and he's got the song Tupac. And then the song Tupac, actually, I was picturing myself trying to picture Will Smith on the first time he ever heard that song, because the baby on there says, I'm the Tupac of this new generation. And then out of nowhere, he brings up Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. And he has to know that Jada and Tupac had this romantic history and Will Smith was jealous of Tupac. And I'm just thinking like, what was Will doing? Like when Will heard this?
Man, I think, well, first of all, I think 2020 for Will, if I've learned anything from 2020, Will, which is just how much he gets sort of stuff gets thrown at him. I'm sure he kind of like took that on the chin.
Okay.
I think after you become a certain level of famous, your entire family stuff being out in the street and people using it for punchlines and stuff, it's kind of like you're already ready for that. I think you have to develop some sort of thick skin about it. I doubt he was losing any sleep over it. That's where I would think, but it could have been awkward. It could have been a little awkward to hear that.
I imagine Will like, oh no, new rapper said something about me. Oh, my movie I Am Legend's on FX. It's okay.
Yeah, like I feel like that the only reason he's using this as a reference is because the entirety of the world knows who you are and it's an easy connection. It's like you're on a different echelon than DaBaby. Like if DaBaby went away, which I would hope that's not the case, but if he went away, Will Smith is still going to be Will Smith. You know what I mean? He hasn't reached the level to where him and Will Smith are peers in the same sense of like cultural impact. So Will Smith is kind of like, way to punch up, dude.
Yeah, that's how I feel. well, I'll set that aside. Who is Will Smith's peer? Who is a guy that or someone that dominated music and film the way he has? I don't think Will is without peers.
Yeah, music and film. Tupac. I'd say that's like Tupac didn't get
Will level though.
No,
but he didn't get to be Will level.
That's true because he died when he was 26.
Yeah, he didn't get to be Will level. So I would say that's like kind of like a we'll never know situation. You know what I mean? I think I'm thinking about music and film. That's a hard one because Will Smith, whether you like his rapping or not, he did well. Like I like Will Smith.
Everyone likes Miami. Everyone likes the Wild Wild West theme song that he did.
No one has made a movie theme song that bops like Will Smith. Name one person who's made a song specifically for a movie that bops like Will Smith. Men in Black, both the Men in Black theme song and Bob Your Head are slappers. You can put on the Men in Black in a regular club and people will dance to it. And they've never watched the movie in years.
Bob, we got the black suits coming.
Nod the head. Black suits coming. And Wild Wild West is great. Wiki Wiki Wild Wild West.
I hate that song.
West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada. None of I know the whole Wild West song.
That's bars. What you know about bars? That's
Get out of here. I want Make it Hollywood. Stop being cowards. I want a remake of Wild Wild West. I want the very awkward long scene between handicapped guy and black guy in the antebellum South. just throwing really offensive barbs at each other.
Didn't age well.
It did not.
Well, let's talk about context then, because like in the 90s and early 2000s, it was a roast fest. How far can you go?
Yeah.
How do we interrogate art and media from that time? Do we investigate with our modern lens, or do we say, yo, you should apologize for this, we get it, but don't do it ever again? How do we investigate like something from 94 or 2002 that's just wildly out of pocket?
I think that if it's scripted, you give them a pass.
Mm-hmm.
If it was scripted, you give them a pass. If it was something that they just said out of their heart, then they need to take the time to like repent out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Will Smith didn't write Wild Wild West. He was just acting in it.
Mm-hmm.
The words that were said that weren't okay, but socially appropriate at the time, he didn't make those up. He just read them on the script. Some things you should know better, and some things society kind of like hadn't evolved into that space yet. So in my head, something scripted that turns out like later on, like you watch old SNL, like a lot of the jokes that they make back then, the cast now would never have been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not saying that all those people are bad. A lot of those people are the people championing for the stuff that we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that like they've grown and learned, but that was a scripted thing. Someone else wrote this, put it in front of their hands and said, say this. Socially, it was cool to say. And I'm sure they themselves would be like, yeah, that joke, it wouldn't fly now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different when you wrote it yourself and said it yourself because you believed it.
I never thought about it like that, but I think that's totally agreeable. And I feel like I just said whatever you say, something, I go, yes, that is the opinion. That's my opinion. Which is so stupid. But I think it's a really eloquent way to think about it.
So in that case, you give Kurt Cobain a pass for the song Rape Me because it wasn't it was kind of a misguided attempt at art.
That wouldn't have been socially, like that was controversial then. It was controversial when it came out.
It was, yeah.
So no, like that's not it's not the same. It was, even then, people were like, "That's not cool." If he wrote a song, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on this podcast, but if he wrote a song,
you can say anything
that was like N words. If he wrote a song called "Niggas Be Trippin'," Nirvana guy, he knows that's not okay. For him to write it. You know what I mean?
Yo, can you just Nur-D, can you give us what's the guitar riff for that song? What's the hook?
Oh man, it's not helpful. It sounds real twangy, is what I'm thinking it sounds like.
It's real Morgan Wallen.
Yes, it's real Morgan Wallen. A lot of flannel, a lot more flannel than anybody is ready for. And I hear what you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying. That like some songs might fall into that category, but I think we know the fact that we know that some things were are wrong universally throughout time and stuff. Like sexual assault, rape and sexual assault has been wrong for so much longer than Kurt Cobain's career had ever existed. And screaming that over and over and over again, you would know full well that might have been a little much then. We certainly wouldn't do it now, but we would have known that wasn't cool then, and it was controversial when he made it. So I'm gonna say that might not fall underneath that purview.
Okay.
But I hear your point, and I will reevaluate someone. Like maybe I am picking and choosing who I give that grace to, and maybe I take a little bit more time to reevaluate it myself. But I think that, at least with movies and television, again, an actor reading a script is different than I wrote this and I'm deciding to share it with you. Mm-hmm. Here's my true thoughts about this situation. Is a little different, if you know what I mean.
Right.
No one gave that song to Kurt Cobain. He made it.
Yeah.
So you're attributing that scene you were talking about from Wild Wild West earlier. You're not gonna indict Will Smith, but you will indict S.S. Wilson, Brent Maddock, Jeffrey Price, and Peter Seaman, the screenplay writer.
I would say that I'd be like, wow, that was a fairly interesting scene that you guys decided to do. And again, are you punching up or are you punching down? That's the big thing about comedy. Are you punching up and you're punching down? I don't know if the actor who played Loveless was actually handicapped. I don't think he was.
He wasn't.
See,
well,
that's where it's punching down. A black person making fun of black people and black culture is you're making fun of yourself. And if a handicapped person wants to make handicap jokes, they're making fun of themselves. And if together they've come together to make jokes about each other, knowing that they both share a difficulty in life that makes things harder, but together through laughter, they've overcome those things, that's a different situation. Mm-hmm. But if someone else comes in with all these privileges and advantages and punches down on them, that's inappropriate. That is a exploitation of your own privilege, and I think you should check yourself. Some things aren't for you to joke about. You can laugh if you think it's funny. Maybe put your hand in front of your face so people don't deck you outside in the parking lot. But like, real talk, maybe that's not for you. Not every cookout is for you. Not every open door means that you can walk through it. It's not your house, homie. You just work here.
I think this is much less serious. But like, I think punching up and punching down, I think that also applies to rap beef. Like, yes. Eminem and MGK, I think MGK won just because Eminem. What can Eminem say to MGK? Like, no, but MGK has the entire world to punch up.
Yeah, because they were too. Well, again, Eminem taking the time to turn around and being like, "Hey, like Machine Gun Kelly." It's just like, did you need to do that? Just let the kid have a win. He's having a good time. Him and his friends. That was so mean. Why would you say that in front of his friends?
And the real win is the fact that he did take time out to.
That means it hurt you, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, he hurt you. If you took the time to do that, if a third grader wrote a mean song about Nur-D, I would not care.
So, but like, okay, let's do another recent rap beef. Drake punched, like Pusha was punching up to Drake, but Pusha for sure won because he revealed the hidden child.
That was the biggest punch. That was the biggest like surprise. That was a call an ambulance, but not for me.
We referenced this beef numerous times on the podcast, and I just can't get it.
Pusha, that was my favorite part.
Pusha wasn't punching up though, like in that sense, because he's like, an elder statesman. Drake, of course,
he's a legend. Yeah,
he had the bigger career, but they were on a level playing field just because of the essence of Pusha T and his legacy. So
I would say that.
That was like
that.
Yeah, that was a great point. I guess I was thinking just like commercially.
Yeah, and you got to think there are different, levels to this, but there's also different like pools and circles and stuff like that. You might be you're the same level, you're just running in different circles. Drake's playing a different game, but like he's still like Pusha T still had more than enough talent. It's not like they were in completely different like time zones and that. But I will say that if you have a secret kid, maybe don't start fights.
Yeah, dude.
Like, man, don't start advice. That just seems like a bad idea.
Also, don't tell people that might tell your enemy.
Exactly right. You can't trust anybody out here. He's like, hey, I got a secret kid. And one person's like, oh.
You know who would love this? Terrence.
Yeah, he's gonna love this. I love the favorite part about that beef, and I know it's not funny because I'm sure it's gonna that child, and I hate to put a child in it, but when Drake put out that song, I don't care what the song's name is, and the word said, "Tell me, do you love me? I tell you only partly," and then he says, I only love my bed and my mother. And before, we were all dancing. And then to find out that he has a child. And he says, like, he could be like, ooh, I was protecting the world. No, don't talk about this. You said that you only meaning this is it.
Okay,
your bed and your mother.
Okay, did you hear this theory though, Nur-D? Okay, here's this theory. So I only love my bed and my mom. What's Drake's son's middle name? Adonis, my bed, Graham.
That's not real,
so
Jordan.
Maybe he was saying it's not. I thought it was.
That's not real.
That's not real.
I thought it was real.
That was like a theory. People are like, I wonder if his name's actually Mabed, and that was like a joke running around. I don't think that's real.
No, then how come this fake news is so convincing?
Jordan got QAnon. Jordan got QAnon right
Guys,
now.
It makes a lot of sense. Hear me out. As we're wrapping up.
That's amazing. Shout out to Drake's kid. You're loved and respected out here, man.
Yeah, we love Adonis.
Yeah, cute guy.
More than Drake, probably.
Oh no.
That's fair to say. I love the baby before Drake, or a baby before I love a grown man, for sure.
There you go.
Well, Matt, Nur-D, do you have any parting thoughts on baby or in utero? Anything we should discuss, dive into?
I think my parting thoughts would be because we talked a lot about fame in both instances, and I think that it's interesting to see how for a white artist fame felt like a trap, and for a young black artist fame feels like the culmination of dream.
Ooh.
And I think that it shows the difference between the cultures here, where maybe you feel unseen until you're famous. Like a lot of black people are trying to, whether it be through art or through sports or for something, trying to get out so they can be seen and be taken seriously, be treated with respect. A lot of DaBaby's songs talk about respect and don't treat him any sort of way. Don't talk about him outside his name, all that sort of thing. And then you have Kurt over here feeling overexposed and constantly looked at and focused in on, and he feels uncomfortable. It might be a difference between their just personal personalities, but I think it might say something about how the cultures see fame and how it would affect their lives.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's something to think about. Maybe take some time as you listen to, because some people might be here, they love Nirvana, they're Nirvana fans. Other people here might be listening to, they might be like hip hop fans, they might be like DaBaby fans and stuff. And it's like there's the cultures think about the same things very, very differently. And maybe there's a reason to that. Maybe there's a reason for that thing.
It's a system. Have you guys heard about systems thinking?
No.
So this changed my life. My father-in-law put me on. Systems thinking is to look at things outside of just the reaction, to look at the whole, like systemic racism, right? We look at, we see what happened with cops. We see like the whole, sentencing and how jurors deal with defendants and, the whole ecosystem of it.
Yeah.
It's everything. Like what led Kurt to feel that way. It's not just, him being famous. It's his upbringing. It could be, it's a business philosophy that I'm trying to bring into the music space. So basically it's looking at everything as it's not a single instance. It's a full scope of, it's a domino effect of everything. And I think once you're able to see things that as a result of circumstance and history, then you can better analyze why we have arrived at this point.
That's real. It's
a great
real.
book. It's a very hard book to read. It's very smart, but I recommend it. Thinking in Systems.
Thinking in Systems. There you go. Sponsor for the book, for this whole podcast.
I would love that.
Chili's and Thinking in Systems. Together again. Back to back like it's Jordan 96, 97.
I love my baby book, baby book, baby book, baby book.
The money is pouring in, folks. Pouring in.
Nur-D, thank you so much for joining. Where can people follow you and buy your merch if they so choose?
You can follow me everywhere at Nur-D Rocks. That's the @ NURD Rocks, like multiple Dwayne Johnsons. That's TikTok, that's Twitter, that's IG, that's the whole thing. And if you go over to nerdyrocks.com, you can find my merch store where you can find beautiful merchandise that'll make you the sexiest person you know. And you can buy it for yourself and not anybody else unless you want them to be sexy too. And then there's plenty of stuff for them as well.
Ooh.
Parents love Nur-D and could use some Nur-D merch. I know Father's and Mother's Day is coming up. We got a few ways. Cop it now.
Yes. Give your parents the glow up by getting them some Nur-D merch. Make them look more attractive for everyone involved.
I love it.
I have to say, I have to plug something for you, Nur-D. Because you just didn't plug it, and I just want.
Oh, I didn't plug it. I should say it. Yeah.
Well, he's got 2 fantastic companion albums that came out late last year. One was 38th, and the follow up was Chicago, and they're both brilliant, heartfelt details and basically just observations from your experience this past summer in the George Floyd moments in Minneapolis. A lot of people may not know, but you were out there helping the people, and you basically put your life on the line to make sure that people got the assistance that they needed, and you got arrested and attacked by the cops.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. Shout out to Justice Frontline Aid, the group that I founded that's working hard every single day to make sure that people stay safe out there. Even though we're protesting out in the cold, people will be able to do what they need to do. JusticeFrontlineAid.org if you want to learn more about them. Everything helps on their thing. So if it's between buying a merch or donating to that cause, I would very much suggest you donate to that cause instead, because these people out there, they need it. Justice is still yet to be served, so we're out here until that happens. And but on a fun plug, to end it on a positive and fun and joyous note, Dre Day. I'm going to be performing at Dre Day, February 19th. I'm really excited to get to do some Dr. Dre songs, some things that he's produced, some things he's been working on. I might be singing some Nate Dogg.
Oh, yes! Let's go!
So February 19th, you can follow all my Instagram stuff and all my social medias to find out more about that. But I'd love to see you there.
Can we get a preview of your Nate Dogg voice and impression?
I cannot give you a preview.
Okay.
That's money, Jordan. I'm a businessman, not a businessman.
I respect it so much. I love getting denied. Be like, yes, I believe in you. Let's go. Take my money.
Is this Dre Day event? Is it virtual or is it going to be live?
It is virtual. And I think there's a few like limited in-person things. I have to double check on that one, but I'm pretty sure it is virtual. It'll be virtual, so you can buy the ticket to watch the show. Shout out to Hook and Ladder for helping us out with that, and it's going to be really, really cool. I'm excited. It's my first Dre Day. It's my first time performing for Dre Day, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's super tight.
I can't wait to hear him
Nur-D.
go smoke weed every day.
Yes. I am also very excited to do that.
Man, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We super appreciate it. We are at the Link Up LP on all social media platforms. If you have problems with things I said, just tweet us. Next week on the pod, Auggie, it's going down. We're comparing the 1975's 2018 classic. I'm ready to make that call right now. It's a classic, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships. And Auggie, you're picking
Childish Gambino, his classic from 2013, I want to say 2012. I can't remember the exact year because of the internet.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm really excited. These are 2 of my top 5 favorite albums. So I'm going to be going in next week. Let's go.
That's your homework. Make sure that you follow us on Spotify, like you said. Do all the things you need to do, but also listen to these albums because we want to hear your opinions on this stuff. What's your gateway drug? What did you like the fun facts? Did you know what I mean? Give us your analysis too. That's what we really want.
Yes. We are a community. It's not just us. Okay, I hate when it's just us because we're just like, oh, we want to talk about Star Wars. It always goes back to Star Wars, which I love, but I'd rather talk about music and more fun things because my life can't be Star Wars all the time.
You would like that though. You could live that way. You could live that lifestyle. I know you could.
Okay, maybe you're right. This is now a Star Wars podcast. Love you. Bye.
Peace.